into it. So we're going to be talking about the 4 ways to fund your guys' deals, investments, your business. Let's get into it. So, you know, a lot of people like, right, if you're tired of giving up a piece of your hard-earned investments or paying sky high interest rates, that's super detrimental because it's holding you guys back from your business, right? Imagine having a way to fund your deals without draining your savings or losing equity. And today we're going to be breaking down those 4 major different ways to fund your investments. And one of them is going to be the difference between saving you guys tens, thousands, hundreds, and thousands of dollars to keep you in control of your guys' business. So make sure you guys stick around to the fourth funding option because this one is a game changer. So here's what we're going to go over the 4 different funding options. Number 1, we're going to talk about giving up equity. Number 2, high interest loans. Number 3, savings. And number 4, my favorite, is the secret funding option that most people aren't using. If you guys aren't new here and you guys have been watching what we're doing, then you already know what we're going to talk about, but I'm going to still give you guys a ton of sauce on it. So something before we dive into this, I do want to say there's nothing wrong with using any of these other 3 methods. In fact, what I always say is the more funding options you have, the more opportunity you guys have to make more money. So by all means, use all the different tools in your tool belt, right? Like the example I like to use is, if you're building a house, right, you're not just going to use just a hammer, right? You're going to be using a saw, a drill, etc., and that's going to help you guys get to your goal faster. So again, the way you should be thinking about this is these are different funding options just like that. It's a different tool, and I encourage you guys to use every single one of these because typically with what holds people back from investing and growing their business is not having the capital to take advantage of those different opportunities and deals to start and keep growing, right? So let's dive into it. These are the 4 main ways people typically fund their investments. And giving up equity, high interest loans, dipping into savings, or leveraging a special type of funding, let's look at the different pros and cons of each so you can decide what works best for you. So number 1, we've got giving up equity. So the cool thing with giving up equity, right, is there's no immediate debt or liability, right? So like somebody's going to give you 100 grand, you give them like 50% of your business or whatever, right? Your business might not be cash flowing yet, so you haven't given them immediate debt, right? The second part of that too is you're able to gain access to other people's expertise, connection, and typically money, especially in the real estate sector. You could give up part of your business in exchange for somebody's expertise, or if they're able to connect you with people, or typically if they're going to help fund your projects. Now, the crappy thing with that is you're going to lose a percentage of your profits, obviously, right? It's not for free. That the value that they're giving you, and you're not going to be fully in control of your investments, right? Because now you might be the major owner of that business, but now you just gave up 20% to Bobby, who gave you some cash, and now they own 20% of your business forever. The other thing too is you're trading your time and sweat equity just for the cash. And the perfect example of this is I'm sure you guys have seen the show Shark Tank. So, let's say if the person gives you, let's say like Kevin O'Leary, right? He gives you 100K for 10% of your business. They only have to give you that 100K one time, right? And now they get to keep 10% of the business for the rest of your life. And they don't have to do anything while you keep putting in the work day in, and day out. So like, yeah, they give you the 100K while your business is valued at $1 million for 10%. But let's say you grow that business to 10 million. They already gave you that 100K one time. They don't have to keep giving you that 100K, and they still own 10% of that. So for me, that's not really my cup of tea while giving up equity can be tempting, it means you're sacrificing ownership, which will cost you guys long term. Like, yes, money now is very valuable, but if you know your business is going to be worth hundreds, thousands, millions of dollars later, it might not always make sense to give such a big chunk of your business for such a low amount of money upfront. Yeah, it might seem like a lot upfront, and yes, it will be able to kickstart it, but there are other ways to be able to get that funding. You know, Personally, I don't like the idea of giving up chunks of my business just to get cash if I know there are better and more cost-effective ways of getting that capital. Now, number two is high interest loans, right? So the pros with this is, it's quick access to large sums of capital and it allows you to maintain ownership. However, you're going to be having higher monthly payments and the interest payments do eat into your profits quickly. Now, in the real estate space, there's kind of two different types of loans that people are looking at. It's like hard money slash private money lending. Now, the hard thing with hard money lenders and private money lenders is typically they're charging you 12 to 15% interest. And on top of that, you're charging a 1 to 4 points loan origination fee. So all in, this is on the low end looking like 13%. On the high end, it's looking like 19%. So that's literally almost a quarter of your business gone just from the high interest loans. Now, with this, the other thing is you could go for a small business bank loan. Now, the cons with this is it's harder to get approved for them because they're going to ask for way more information and typically requires more paperwork, and they're going to doc check you for all the financials. And that's pretty tough, especially if you're a small business, right? Why would they be asking you for all this financials if you're just getting started, right? So it doesn't always make sense. And again, most people are getting denied for it anyways. But if you're looking for fast capital but don't want to give up equity, then high interest loans are an option. But those rates, again, they can quickly cut into your margins. So the crappy thing with this, just to sum it up, is you're already paying interest immediately before you even made any sort of return. So it's like taking one step forward and two steps back until you hit that payday. So it kind of like already puts you at a downhill advantage, especially if you're just starting off that, damn, like I'm already getting hit with interest and I haven't even made any money yet. So something to take into consideration when it comes to higher interest loans. The other thing too is savings. So pros of this is, right, there's no debt or monthly payments. You get full ownership of your investments. However, the cons with this is it takes time to accumulate. And on top of that, there's a high opportunity cost, right? You're tying your cash and losing out on deals while you're having to save. So funding your investments with savings means no debt, but it takes years to build up cash and leaves you with no liquidity, right? Like somebody told me this, like it takes your whole life to save up for your life savings, but only one transaction, one day to spend it. And in real estate investing, I can't tell you how many times I've spoken to an investor where they've told me, either they spent all their savings, so now they're asset rich, but they're cash poor and can't get into new deals until they sell their current deal. So what does that mean for them? That's that opportunity cost. Like if somebody comes to you with a house for 20K and it's a deal of a lifetime, but all your savings is tied up in this property waiting for it to get fixed, you're losing out on those deals, right? And it's just not really viable for you guys to scale. And most people, right, they have their savings there as like a safety net. Like even if they have the money to go buy shit, they would rather not use their own money and, leverage other different funding options. Now, all right, so that kind of sums it up for savings. It's probably the worst one just because, again, like there's just so much time it takes. Like most people, if you're going to save like $10,000, for most people, that's going to take you guys months, right? But The fourth and final way to fund your guys' investments. So if you guys have been following me for a while now, then you already know what it is. I talk about this all the time, but if you're new here, you're gonna think like literally no way. But I'm here to say, yes, this is the way. Let's get into it. So this is the one and only. We're talking about leveraging 0% interest business credit cards. So the pros of this is there's no interest during the introductory period, right? So essentially free money for kind of like a short-term period, usually 12 months, sometimes longer. On top of that, there's flexibility to use the funds when you need them most, right? You can use it anytime. There's access to revolving credit, so you can fund multiple projects over time, right? You go borrow 100K, you pay it back, go invest into another deal, that 100K into another deal. And the best part about this is you're able to get approved with what's called a no doc check. So when I say no doc check, that means you're still able to get funded even if the LLC is new, even if your income's low, and even if your business revenue is low. Like when I started getting into Airbnb at the time, that LLC was like maybe 2 months old. I was living at my parents' house making like 2K a month, so income was down and didn't have any revenue, obviously, because it was a brand new business. But because I knew the ins and outs of the funding game, I was still able to get approved for a 25 and a 50K card in a matter of weeks. And that's what allowed me to purchase a new Airbnb once a month for the next 7 months for my Airbnb arbitrage business. So absolute game changer. I don't want to say it's super easy to get approved because, right, there are these different requirements, but if you know the game, then you will be able to get approved. And that's obviously something I help our clients with. The other thing too is you can max these out without it affecting your personal credit, right? You never want to use personal credit for business expenses because that's going to stack up real quickly. And if you max out personal, it's going to bring your overall utilization up and bring your score down. And if you need to go get more funding, you're not going to get approved because your score is down. But with business credit, you can max it out and it doesn't affect personal credit at all. And it allows you to keep getting more funding. The other thing too is it does allow you to get into more deals and grow faster without giving up the equity, without wasting the time having to save or losing out on the high interest payments. Now, here's some of the cons, right? It does require a good credit profile to get approved. And to add on to that, I always tell people like your credit score and credit profile, that's something we'll help you guys out all day. But that really all it does, a good credit score, a good credit profile, what that means is, having at least a 700 credit score, 3 personal credit cards with an average 5 to 10K per card each, no negatives, low utilization, all that jazz. Pretty straightforward stuff. If you're not already there, then DM me the word optimize and we'll help you guys get there. And we'll send you a ton of free resources. Credit repair, that's a different story. That is a paid service. However, this just gets your foot in the door with the banks to show them, hey, you're a trustworthy borrower. As far as being an attractive business that they want to lend to, there's a whole other list of underwriting requirements, how to apply with them, going through a relationship manager, knowing what to say, what to put on the application, so many different things. That's all stuff we can help you out with. And if it is something you guys want to have that guidance, then comment the word funds and we'll help you guys out with that. But that's the only thing is it does require some knowledge on it. We could either teach you or we could do it for you. So pretty straightforward. The other thing too is after the 0% period ends, there are a standard credit card interest that's like 15 to 20%. However, because you guys are part of this incredible community, we know that there are different ways to extend the 0% terms for multiple years. So yes, it's typically only 12 months, but you can extend it for multiple years. And this is really where 0% interest funding stands out, right? You could gain access to capital today in a matter of weeks. Like you apply today, get approved by tomorrow, the card comes in the mail within the next like 2 to 5 days, right? So literally a week turnaround time. Like I just helped my buddy Carlos literally last week. In 3 days, got him approved for a Chase credit card at 60K, like insane, right? But you can gain access to capital without giving up equity, without paying the high interest or without draining your savings and wasting time. It's flexible, and if you know how to use it strategically, you're essentially getting free leverage to grow your portfolio. So that's basically it, guys. Thank you guys for lending me your guys' eyes, ears, and attention. If you guys got questions, put them in the comments below. Happy to help you guys out. Now, as usual, you know we love dropping free game, but we also provide this free game because we want to be able to build trust with you guys and hopefully earn you guys as a paid client. And if you're cheap and broke and don't want to, you think you can figure it out on your own, and you want to just go out and make all the mistakes and learn the hard way, then go for it. No hard feelings. I'm gonna still keep dropping value, but for the small percentage of people who see the value and you understand, you want to take out the guesswork from this, you just want the funding now, you want to get it done right, then reach out to us. If you have a 700 plus credit score and ready to add 0% funding as a tool in your guys' tool belt and taking your investments to the next level, comment the word funds below and I'll reach out personally to show you guys how you could start leveraging this today. Now, for the people whose credit score is lower than these current gas prices, comment the word optimize and I'll send you guys some free sauce on how to boost your profile the fastest way possible. If you guys do have negatives, we do offer a done for you credit repair service, comes with a guarantee. I'll tell you right now, it is high ticket, but we get to charge what we charge because we get the results. But thank you guys again, as usual. Peace out, much love, stay beautiful, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.